Welcome, everyone. I hope we're all having a pleasant Thursday. Thursday, right? Technically, I guess Friday for some people. Yeah, it's the end of my Thursday. All right. So we have a Ranger we're working on. Take a look here. Oh yeah, I changed that because I have to hit that with the flesh tone. Because that looks like kind of two pieces that are sandwiched. Do the boots. Ground, the squirrel, and I gotta finish the backpack. That's my ideas for all that. Alrighty. Well, let's get this shit on the go. But first, time for some sip. Because as we all know, coffee is love, coffee is life. Mm. I gotta break up the brown again. Anyway. Oh, not doing too bad. No. Let's use this one. Actually, that's actually a pretty good angle. Pretty good amount of metal on there that I can potentially get a like NMM effect going. This one, 100% sure how exactly I want to do. I do kind of have an idea. So like the light angle for this one, I know I'm like faffing about and not doing the miniature that's being painted, but like I don't know, kind of inspiration situation going on. So for this one, the light angle is going to be going kind of this way. So like this whole side of the head up here on the like torso. So I'm gonna have to bring in the airbrush and just kind of spritz going down like that way. I have to make sure I kind of hit the arm as well. Just kind of go down, kind of going that way. That way it'll splatter where the light will be, and then maybe from this angle here, like this exact angle here, take some black and give it a bit of a shot. Because effectively, that's where the shadow is going to be the most. And then anything else is going to be in the middle. So, like, that could work. And then I just have to figure out what color I want to make this little crescent moon thingy. And then that will educate me on what color the OSL is going to be. I also have to figure out their flesh tone as well. There's supposedly a half orc. So like the box art, let's say, has them green, but I don't want to do a green orc. Green orcs are boring. Almost thinking of taking the Tooth and Coat's flesh, the dwarven skin that I have, and mixing in a few drops of like red, like Naphthol Crimson, a nice vibrant red. And then that way, kind of go for like a more reddish skin toned orc. I think that could look kind of cool, and then hit it with the flesh wash that I have. Again, also from Tooth and Coats. Um, which I think would then bring it all together because it would like darken it down and it would have that nice reddish, like I want like not naturally reddish skin. I want like fantasy red, like well no, not fantasy red skin, not like anime red. But to me, what I'm saying makes sense. It may make sense to other people as well. I don't know. But you're all not here to hear me ramble. You're here to watch me paint shit. So we're gonna go back to the sepia for a couple of moments because there's a couple of things I gotta hit with it. Oh, I gotta fix something. Actually, no. I'm gonna leave that the way that is. Because that way it gives a little cue of what it actually shows the cue of what's coming up next. Fuck that. Get in behind here. There we go. That's better. And what else do I need to hit with Brian? Oh yeah, back here on the cape. I think I will do that other shoulder pad as a metallic. Yeah, Purple Lake is perfect for that application. You know what? Let's get these pouches and satchels too. Because I would figure they would all be the same, like foresty brown. And like, I get that this is fairly monochromatic. Like, really, there is only three major colors here. Like, there's the flesh tone, there's green, and there's brown, and then there's black as a key color. Um, there's like a little bit of purple. I get it. It's not like very colorful, but you know what? I don't care. I'm taking from this that they're a forest dweller. They're, you know, their attire is going to be primarily something that's going to let them hunt a little bit more easily and blend into the forest, which in a very natural setting, in a forested setting, you're going to have browns and greens and, you know, the colors of leaves and fucking foliage. Like even the shin guards here, which are going to be which would be made out of metal, obviously, are going to be mostly painted brown, so that like it helps them blend into the forest. It helps them pass without trace, as it were. Real hippie shit. Boots is kind of nice. Anywhere that I overpaint, it's probably going to end up being covered with black anyway. So like I have a little bit of room to make mistakes. Oh, also, I may have a commission coming up in the near future. Well, I should have a commission coming up in the near future. I'm not 100% sure if it was sent out. But yeah, a pretty big size Atlas Mac. Like something like 7 centimeters, I think it was mentioned. Technically 7.2. Or for those of you who like me think in millimeters, 72 millimeters. I blame my ex workplace for that. Um, at that scale, I think more in millimeters than I do in centimeters, because I used to have to do that for a living. I want grin. Grin. This grin. Grin? That's not grin. Ah. Ooh. Actually, what if I go more with a hmm. I have this desaturated tanned gray that I could take some of my airbrush medium that I have to reduce the opacity a bit. And I could use that. And instead of using hmm. Like, and instead of using black for the shadow, I could use the just straight up Payne's Gray. Hmm. That might be an idea. That might be yeah, that might be an idea. Then for the staff, what I can do is I can do that in then like the icy moon glow blue that I was originally thinking. I think that would look pretty fucking cool, to be honest. Now, that being said, I can talk about doing it all I want. I'm gonna have to get around to actually doing it, though. That is going to be the key. And knowing me, I'm gonna probably go all perfectionist on it so that I can procrastinate on the next project after that, which is going to be learning myself some NMM. So, have you ever felt alone like all your friends have turned to foes? Stay away and won't go close. You're scared of losing all you know. Take my hand and don't let go. Take a hold and don't let go. Feel me flowing through your bones. I am a hopeful broken soul. So the squirrel. Pardon me. Let me figure out what I want to do with the squirrel. what I'm gonna do first is we're gonna do the outside, or we're gonna start the outside of that stump. Okay. I'll figure something to differentiate that stump from the rest of the boot shortly. All right, a couple more things I need to do before I can actually make more progress. And yes, I'm somewhat procrastinating on the squirrel as I still don't know what color I want to make the squirrel. I could go for like a red and try to do like a super reddish squirrel, which that could be interesting. But doing it so that it looks right is another matter. Like what I could do is take some red, do the initial coat with that, then take my off-white that I have. Again, add some medium to it to make it more transparent, and then put that over top to kind of like lighten it a little bit, give it a little more of a natural color, but at the same time help preserve that like red that I am looking for. How is it supposed to be carried? Is now my next question. Supposed to be a coin? If it's supposed to be a coin, I can make that work. Well, technically, no matter what it is, I can make it work. I just want to know. Oh, cool. I just picked up the fucking. Oh, of course you're not going to show what that fucking is. Fucking so and so. God damn it. I'm just gonna assume it's a coin. Like, it's about the right size. I would say it'd be a little bit big. Is like that to scale is like palm sized. Maybe it's a medal of some sort or like a medallion. I guess that'll work. Fucking medallion of some sort, I guess. Actually, before we get on the skin, we need to keep going with the sepia. I have to do the trim around the bedroll there. That much. Actually, not even that much is needed, if we're going to be honest. Also, I could just do the red and then sepia over top of it. I think it could still work. That could work. Like, there's really no need to complicate it anymore than I actually have to. I think I'm gonna do that. It'll be easier that way. That little squirrel's supposed to be wearing fucking armor, isn't he? And a little shoulder pad. God damn it. Why do they have to fucking do this to me? I know they're not doing anything to me. I'm doing it to myself by choosing to paint this mini. But still. Like, seriously. Okay, so what we're gonna do then is we are gonna go back to the Dwarven skin, because I do have to do that before I move on, because I need to fix that arm. Only on one side. I can hit up that little section there. I can speak, I promise. I know how to do the word talky thing. As I come out. And I just needed. Yeah, perfect. The littlest of drippy drops. Really? Dun, dun. Yeah, there, that works. Like I said, the littlest of drippy drops. The drippiest of drops. Alright. Now, I'm gonna paint a squirrel. And I have to do the squirrel before I do the metallics, because motherfucking squirrel has armor plates on it. I need. Where's a one? 0. I guess a 0 could work. So we're gonna start with some Nathal Crimson. For a very nice red. Nice and bright and obvious. Then once that cures, we're gonna go over it with the sepia. I may add like a drop of airbrush medium to the sepia to again fuck with the opacity a little bit in order to make it so that a little bit more of the red shines through. I'll let that red dry. Then we're gonna hit it up with some brown over top, and fucking Bob should be your uncle. But that has to dry first so that I can have a nice solid base red for the brown to go over top of. I guess I could have gone with an orange too for that. Uh, so while that's doing its thing, I need. You know what? I need some yellow. And we are going to use the azo medium for this. Because a duck should not be lemon yellow. Mac fucking Mac. Be an asshole. Don't you mix with that green. It's a very transparent yellow. Okay. We'll definitely need to do a couple of layers of this. I have to just kind of bounce back and forth between those two. We're just going to do the brown straight over. We're not actually going to worry about the... Yeah. I think what I might do is I might make pain to make the tip of this asshole's tail. Yes, squirrels are assholes, and not in the cats are assholes, but I still love them type of way. Squirrels are just straight up assholes. Some of that is foot. I have to go over a little bit of that with some black, but that'll be fine. Not really need red. I know this is probably supposed to be a flask, but I'm making it a fucking potion. Why? Because it's my mini. Now let's work on eyes. Put this here brush away. This here though. Waste. Yeah. Fully incorporated and mixied. What I'm going to need. Out. I hate painting eyes, especially at this scale. See, there's a reason why when I was doing 40K, I would always just have helmets on whenever I could. And also, one of the reasons why I liked painting Chaos. Because you could just do their eyes a full solid color and be like, boom, done, there you go. They're the fucking bad guys in the setting. So, fucking, they have the crazy, funky, scary eyes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off my brush. Because I need to. I haven't cleaned this one in a hot minute. And get you nice and clean. Okay. Hmm. Tasty. You love me some coffee. It's like just the best. Yeah. Once the matte varnish is on, it'll bring that shininess on that swirl down quite a bit. Let's give you some eyes as well. Downside of using like just a little bit at a time. Once you actually use the little bit, of science. In the party position. All right, that's better. A little cleaner. Um, Now here's hoping. I mean, it works. Oop. Little fucking ducky. Little fucking ducky. I might even leave it like that. I think with that little like gray undertone, I think that works. However, what I need to do is take. Where is my Scarlet? There you are. We're going to take a Scarlet, and this is what we're going to use for the duck's bill. Rather than going with like a black bill. And if it doesn't quite work, I can always bring it down with a little bit of brown afterwards. There we go. Ranger and their little ducky buddy. Friend to all critters. Over there. Over. Aha. That one. Perfect. Use this. Bam. Okay. So, what I need, we're going to use a processed cyan as the base for the water. I think. Let's give that a good, a nice little mustache ride on Bert to get it incorporated. Bigger brush. So this is just going to be the first layer of the water. I'm probably going to do another layer of the cyan. And then like another layer of the cyan just to make sure that it's has enough coverage type deal. And then I'm going to make probably my phthalo blue. Take some of that and make it a little bit more transparent. I know I've mentioned that once or twice already, and I haven't done so for the things that I've already mentioned. But for this, I'm going to need to because I'm going to be basically using it as a wash. To kind of add some visual interest to this here puddle. Um, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then the rest of the foliage on the ground, I think I'm gonna do in various shades of green. Like I'm gonna use the mixed green that I've been using for the rest of like their outfit. And try and tie them into the world that I'm creating here. And I actually need to go back to this brush for a moment because I know there's at least one or two spots that I need to hit with black again. Just to kind of make it work. And also I need to do the bottom of the boots. That one, the foot is just barely underwater for the most part, like the bottom of it, so you're not going to see most of the bottom. A little bit. Pardon. All right. So now, back to what we was doing. And we got that situated. Grab the green here. Right on Bert. A little bit more need/want, but whatever, I'll make it work. And over top of the green, what I'm going to do as well is I'm probably going to hit it with my not null. To add some depth to the ground and make it look kind of dirty. Because like what I'm picturing here is like there's grass and whatnot on the forest floor here, but it's still going to be kind of dirty and grungy and whatnot. Because anybody who's been in nature knows that that's how nature fucking is. Kind of dirty and grungy, and even at its most fucking beautiful, still kind of a little bit gross. I need to see something. Okay. Pardon me. Okay, there's that. You are out of there. Small drippy drops. I need one of you. Need one of you. And finally, I need one of you. Hey there, Sharky. How's things? What I need, I'm going to take phthalo blue here. Take some of this first. Fine. Oop. Now, I'm not terrible. Had a job interview today. From one restaurant, and then got an email from another place for an interview tomorrow. So, there's that. Wait, I can be heard, right? Like you can hear me, right? Good. I wasn't sure if I'd fucking fuck something up and I was like and stream was scuffed out again, That happens fucking regularly to me. Fancy one. Normal one. So the goal here with what I'm doing, I'm not necessarily trying to change the color. It's more I am trying to make it so that this is more opaque. Actually, I need a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean like a drippy drop. That's way more than enough. So what I put in there was essentially wet water, so it's water with a wetting agent in it, which is nothing more than really a surfactant, which will help break surface tension. Generally, this would be used, like, generally, I would use this more when I'm making paint from, like, directly from dry pigment. Um, my current use case for it, however, is this is basically turning this here mixture that I've made into a wash that, if I've done my thing correctly, will go into the cracks. There we go. Oh, looks a little nicer. All right. We got that. We got that. And I need you. So what have you been up to today, Turkey? Also, I guess this is as good a time as mention as any. Depending on what my new hours are, once I'm working again, stream time might be changing. Because like one of the place I had the interview with today, their hours are like 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So depending on what sort of shifts I'm expected to work, I might be like, yeah, I'm just gonna stream earlier in the day. Which may fuck up viewing for some of you awesome folks who are on the other side of the planet. Yes. That's fair. I'll have to work. And yes, I'm putting this here wash on before I pick out the leaves with a lighter green. There is madness to my method. I mean, method to my. Well, no. Column A, column B. But there is method to my madness. Hey, I appreciate that. Here we go. Let that dry, and then essentially what we're gonna do is once the that Nuln coat or that not Nuln coat has dried, then I'm gonna go back through and pick out the leaves with the emerald green that I have, which is gonna make them pop a little bit more. What I'm gonna do first, though, is I'm gonna use this stuff. This. Or do I want this? Is no, I don't want to use that one. That one's the super light one. I want this one, which is the one that has more brown in it. Yeah, this will look better. Because what I'm doing now is essentially the heartwood from this here tree. And generally, the inside of a tree is usually a little bit lighter than the outside. So we're kind of going with something like this here. There we go. Look at that. Fucking coming together. Just a few more things to do. Got some metallics. Actually, I'm going to use this as well on this here map or scroll or whatever the fuck it is. Make it kind of look like aged paper. Because I don't like the look, especially if we're talking like in a fantasy type setting. I hate the look of like pristine white paper. I think for me, as a painter, as a as somebody who is interested in fantasy type works, it kills my immersion, honestly. Because like if you think the technology level, even factoring in like magic and shit like that, the technological level of a lot of fantasy settings, you're not going to have perfectly bleached white paper. It's not a thing you're going to see. As it's going to be like the means to make paper in a situation like that are going to be rougher. A lot of it's going to be as well. You're going to be using parchment and like vellum and shit like that, which is not perfectly white. Like it's not that like pristine titanium white that you would expect it to be. It's closer to like an off white or a brown because like it's made out of unbleached plant fiber or it's made out of dried fucking animal skin. So like I don't know. It's that not necessarily going for realism aspect, but something that would be reasonable, I think is the best way to put it. And quick, make it work. Same size. Same size. I guess we'll use triples here. I wanted the doubles here. Has a red fucking thingy on it. Okay, so now it's basically down to, for the most part, anyway, metallics. I think what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to varnish them all at the same time. I think that'll be a little bit easier for myself. But since we're going to move on to some metallics, I'm going to put my good brushes away. And by good brushes, I mean my natural hair brushes. We're going to bust out the synthetics. There. There. Again, I haven't used this in a hot minute, so need to give it just a little bit of motivation. Oh, yeah, that looks better. At least the top of this one didn't stick, so. There you go. And now. Italics. There's some spots that I'm probably going to have to clean up a bit just due to overpaint. Because that's how shit happens. But like right there. I overpainted just a little bit. Have to go over that with some black. Fix. That should be fine. And over here. It's the same fucking thing. Make sure if I can clean out my cat litter tomorrow. I need to remind myself. No. Spots where there are buckles. Right there. And we have a little bit right there, which I'm assuming is also shoulder pad. A lot of them will have a shoulder pad on each arm. Except for the fighter for some reason. I would expect that the fighter would have the most armor, but they don't. Like, they seriously don't. They have one shoulder pad. That's it. For a fighter. This is the fighter. Fucking weird. Like, unless you're a Dex fighter, you want to be wearing, you know, decent armor. Because, like, you're one of the ones that's going to be getting smacked in the face by those you are opposing. I guess, okay, I can see why their hand is like that now. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought they were just holding their hand at a weird angle, but no, they kind of have their hand on their sword. On their sword. It's a lot more of this to do. I don't know why. that part there. That there. Right there. And what I'm going to do, normally I would do like a yellow as the base if I'm going to be doing gold, but I already have this out. It's a metallic, and it should, that was the wrong one, do what I needed to. So, fingers fucking crossed. Now, that's brass. Gold! I like gold. Come on. A little bit more. Just need a little bit. Just need to wiggle it just a little bit. Okay. I need to go back to the other metallic for a moment. Ready? There's that. There. You back out again. Get back into yet. Or, well, I can't get back into that red because it has dried a bit. So, need a single drippy drop. Do that. That should be perfectly fine. There we go. Now, we're going to keep using the 000 brush, but we're going to go with the Two Thin Coats Flesh Wash. Which I'm then going to use. Go fuck yourself, bud. Really need. Well, there's not a lot of space that we need to cover. There. I think. Yeah. Not too bad. It's been hovering between about 10 and 20. Well, okay. So I'm going to say it's been hovering like kind of between 10 and about 26 as far as the weather goes. Obviously, you know, that's a bit of a range. It's also been raining like fucking mad here lately too. Like almost every other day, it's been fucking raining, which I'm sure you can tell by my tone of voice. It's goddamn annoying. Bust out the emerald green. I mean, it is about that time of year for you, so that kind of makes sense. Yeah. I think that emerald green for the leaves is going to look nice. Add just a little bit of visual interest to the base where it's needed. Add a little bit of variety. Bam! Okay, that just makes me feel like I'm weird. It's like, I don't throw, granted, I have my apartment hovering at around 20 constantly, but like I sleep right next to a window and I don't throw a blanket on unless it's like single digits or below. Make me feel like I'm a weirdo. Righty, so I just need to do. Or I brought out some more red. Where did I put them? That's another thing. I don't know how people can sleep with a fan on. Like I get the whole needing noise thing. Like I need to have noise of some sort while I'm sleeping. I usually have like YouTube or something like that going. Um, like a fan, that sort of white noise, I can't do it. It just like the hum drives my brain and like just batty, if that makes any sense. It's almost as bad as living near like really old power lines that you can hear that hum from. If you know, you know. I think cicadas would come into a close third there, though. If that's so. Oh yes, and I made sure to give Trouble treats at the end of stream when I saw last night. Because I saw you redeemed that just before I swapped over. Well, I saw it just after I swapped over, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I think I'm going to call this one here. I don't really see any gray sticking out to me. So you are eventually going to need to be varnished. This guy is one that I need to do some prep work on. So what we're gonna do, because we have to do prep work on this before we can deal with the rest of it. And I have a plan. Okay. Ooh, question for chat. So this is a half orc. As far as their lineage, I guess. I'm not sure what I want to do for skin tone. I'm thinking, and I'm pretty sure, Sharky, if you've been here since the beginning, you'd already heard this. I was going to go for the desaturated Payne's Gray that I have as an option. Kind of go with like a blue-gray skin tone. But I'm curious as to what options chat has, or rather, what opinions chat has in regards to what the skin color I should do for this here half orc should be. Because I don't want to do green. I think green is ridiculously boring for orcs and half orcs and whatnot. Red was also a possibility that I had considered, because I think that could look pretty cool. But the thing I need to do first. You. Oh, yes, and glove. But this is also the one that I'm going to be doing the OSL work on. Oh, it's way too much. But it does give an idea on where because yeah, coming down from that side, that would be basically where the main part of the light would be going down at that angle. Which I actually kind of like that. That is going to be fine. And then and is there you are. Let's give you a bit of a mix up just to make sure you're fully incorporated. So basically, I'm just putting enough ink in here to cover the needle. That actually works out for the most part. Under there is going to be dark. And there is going to be kind of dark. Straight up underneath there is going to be dark because that's going to be shadowed by the pants. We kind of have most of our color values, like our light values, situated. Yeah, like orcs are always fucking depicted as having like green or occasionally red skin. Personally, I think that's kind of bunk. Like, we're gonna let this soak for just a moment. So yeah, this is definitely at the really ugly stage where like it's yeah, there's a bunch that needs to be done. I'm gonna need to figure out what I want to do for the cloak too. I'm thinking since this is a druid, I might actually go green for the clothing. Like, do take the emerald green that I have and thin it down a bit so that it's a little more transparent. Because I think I think it's a semi. Yeah, it's a semi-transparent as it is. So like, if I was to make it so that it was more transparent, I could put that on, and then it'll better reflect some of the light values that I've already set up. Put that much of that in there. We're gonna put that much of that in there. And we're gonna let you soak. So when you have a compressor that has a tank, you don't want to leave that tank full. When you're done using it, you want to make sure that you release that pressure. Otherwise, it's going to fuck with your gauges, and it may fuck with your seals as well. It's going to look fucking awesome once it's done. If it ends up working out the way I expect it to and want it to, like right there, it might be a little iffy. But I mean, it should be fine. So the coloration I'm planning on using as far as the lighting, I'm probably gonna desaturate some of the processed cyan because I want it to be like a almost like a baby blue. Even just use this. How does this look? Ooh. Yeah, because this is like mostly white, but it has like a blue hint to it. So what I might do, I might just add some fucking airbrush medium to this, just to increase the transparency. That is a maybe. However, what I am gonna say is it is at about the 2 hour mark, so I'm gonna hit a button here, and we're gonna go over to the couch and take a seat, see who we can throw a raid out to, and whatnot. So I will be back with you in just a moment. Alrighty. Well, let's. Are you? Fuck's my cat. Huh. Oh, they're out here. They're waiting for her. She'll show up eventually. But first, let's take a look and see who is on and doing the thing. We're gonna kill the tunes. We're gonna